So what would you say, like, based on your experience, what are the biggest benefits you've gotten from having partnership?
One is the increased amount of
So today we want to talk to you about how to build strategic partnerships to grow your business, particularly if you're a small business. The other day, I was hungry. I'm always hungry. And we have this ongoing debate
I
about
need another job just to
what's for dinner, right? Somebody never wants to choose, and it always ends up being on me.
Listen, I just say whatever makes you happy. I'll decide. I'll pick from whatever place you choose. That's it.
That's so kind.
My eating, I don't want to say restrictions, but criteria is a little more narrow than yours. So
Very narrow.
I let you choose a place, and
So his
I'm a vegetarian.
He's more restricted than I am, but he wants me to pick the place, even though most of the stuff he doesn't eat at the places
so
I want to go.
You want to choose, I don't know.
Like if I want to go to Del Frisco.
You want to go to the Rib House or Del Frisco, like, because you want to go get a steak. I'm just going to be like, okay. And then I'm going to look at
Can I get a stack of waffles and a cup of water? I mean, a stack of pancakes.
I'm going to look at their menu and I'm going to choose the items that I eat. Like, I'll just be like, can I get 3 sides? I'll take the corn. I'll take some potatoes or, whatever. And that's it. That's some broccoli, some vegetables. That's my life.
I decided that we should support a small business in the neighborhood where we live. So I was like, we're going to this place. And he was like, okay. I was like, okay, no pushback. We went, parked the car, step out the car, and we see a gentleman who owns a business in our space. Shout out to Mr. Sherwood Muhammad, Nature's Finest Security. So Mr. Muhammad is coming out of his establishment, which is located in the same block as the restaurant we were going to patronize. And Mr. Muhammad is like, Miss Johnson. I'm like, hey, Mr. Muhammad. And Mr. Muhammad is real good people, has a great company. We operate in the same space, but I wouldn't call them competitors because it's not like we really go head to head.
Listen, even if you say people are competitors, like my man Joseph says at Clean and Green Laundromat, he was like, he does the same thing we do at the Soapbox. We're great colleagues, great friends, great laundry friends, et cetera, et cetera. We met, through social. And he says the same thing. Brooklyn, where we operate, is big enough for everybody. Mm-hmm. So people get hung up on competitor. I get it. There are some spaces and things going on where you're direct competitor, and they're taking food off the table.
Right.
Like, these app wars and all these things that go on because like if you use, let's use the delivery, spaces, and there's Uber Eats, there's DoorDash, Postmates is part of Uber Eats now, but they're part of Uber, but
Seamless was just part of
Grubhub now. But at one point they were all separate and they were going head to head. So I understand there's this huge competition to get these users so you can grow.
But that works in some spaces. Right now, it's the season for small business where we need to work together.
So to the point to say, we're not really competitors, like, no, because I truly believe, one, there's enough business for all of us. It's a big pizza pie. Listen, there's some people on our team that are super greedy when it comes to food, but I've yet to meet any team member who can eat 8 slices of a New York style pizza.
I don't know.
And I'm sure there's somebody out here in the world that could do it.
Like, I could do it.
But I'm sure like around 5, they might start to feel the pain. And there'll still be 3 slices left over for someone else or 3 other people, because some people only want 1 slice, right? Somebody wants a slice in a salad.
Right.
Somebody only wants half of a slice.
Right.
So there's more than enough, talking about Mr. Muhammad, there's enough security business, one, for him to get what he wants.
And do well.
And for us to get what we want and
both
both do well. And there's business out there where we could say, hey, you want to work together because there's this opportunity that is huge. And you know what? I can do maybe 40% of it. Can you do the other 60 and be like, well, you know what? I can do 40 like you, but I know someone else who can do the other 20. And the 3 of us together could get this huge opportunity, and we'll all come out ahead of what we were previously, because I'm getting 40% of something I didn't have before. Somebody else is getting 20% of what they didn't have before, and he's getting 40% of what he didn't have before. So people get, hung up on we're competing. And if they get it, that means I'm losing. Like, because they operate, we've said it 1,000 times, they operate from a mindset of scarcity instead of abundance. You have no idea how much is out here. And here's the other
lot.
thing people don't take into consideration. What one person considers winning might not be the same as what you're considering as winning. Yeah. So someone might say, listen, I just want my business to do $200,000. And they're super happy and content with that, where you want to do $2 million. And you don't have to compete because they're not trying to do the same thing. You might want to focus on this type of clientele to get to 2 million, and they're focusing on a different type of clientele to get to 200,000. People get so hung up on it. Like, and I understand about you should monitor your competition and all of the data and the stats and watch them. But I'm like, you could spend too much time watching your competition.
Analysis paralysis.
And you end up missing out on opportunities you could have been doing because you're too busy watching what they're doing. And here's what the other thing that happens when you're so busy watching your competition. You become reactive instead of being proactive. So you're always playing catch up because you see them do something and you're like, oh shit, I should do this. Or maybe you got somebody, gives you some insider information about what they're about to do next. So you got a homeboy or homegirl, et cetera, or you got an old colleague or acquaintance that's like, listen, I heard the word on the street, they're going to do this. And you make the move before them, legit, respect that. But if you constantly watching them, oh, they raised their price, I should raise my price. You should raise your prices because they raised their price. Why? Your pricing should be based on what you need your pricing to be. So if it costs me, if I charge $2, that don't mean you have to charge $2. You could charge $2.10, $2.05. $2 is my number. And you have no reason why I'm running that number. But yeah.
So I think the biggest takeaway that I would like you to walk away from this episode with is that there's value, that there's benefit to small businesses to partner with other small businesses, especially as you're trying to grow, because you can lessen part of the burdens that come with growth if you're able to find the right partner and leverage what they already have. And I'll give you an example. We recently submitted a bid on a large federal contract, and we were part of a team of 3 organizations, and there was one organization that led when it came to the proposal writing and the estimating. There was another organization that led in terms of identifying the personnel that would take the lead. And then there was another organization that led with the experience and the technical expertise that went into informing the proposal writing, the estimating, and the selection of the personnel. And so even though when we look at it, say that it's a $25 million opportunity.
25 mil.
Right. And
can't wait to get that
if you evenly distribute that, that's $8 million plus per organization.
I'm getting my marquee jet card. I'm up in my hours once we close that one. I'm flying private.
Right. And
get ready for some new content.
For people who are hesitant to grow, because you're like, wow, I'm not even doing $1 million. How am I going to go from less than 1 million to 25 million? The risk is lessened when you're able to spread that across partners, right?
It's so much like people so underestimate working together.
So give the people in Commerce and Chill Land some examples of what partnership means to you and a time where you partnered at the soapbox to win successfully.
Right. So I think there's 2 different scenarios for partnerships. There's partnership where outside of business, and then there's partnerships inside of business.
Okay.
So you could be a partner with someone and you're getting things done and you're super connected, right? You're on the same path. You share a similar mindset. It's almost like when people go into business together and be like founders and co-founders, like they start a business together, because there's a lot, not some, but there's a huge synergy there. And not to say that they're the same, they could be totally different. So I guess it's more like talking about almost like strategic partners versus just partners. And then in the business side, I look at partnership where there's a goal, or there's some problem or something we're trying to solve, and 2 different entities come together and be like, if we did this, we could probably get that. Like you talked about this contract that's 25 million, and working with some different companies to say, hey, who has a strength in what? You tackle that part, we'll tackle this part, and together we could all slice up this $25 million pizza, right? $25 million pizza pie. And we all walk away with a good portion of it.
Right.
So I look at it two different ways. There's a strategic partnership versus, and I don't want to say a true partnership, but where there's more of a connectivity of the individual versus it just being on the business side of it.
Right. Right. Well, you know me, I'm gonna go straight to Merriam-Webster. So
It's a blue screen, everybody.
For partnership, they had the state of being a partner, participation. And I think that's the key part. When you're able to participate, that's where the magic happens. That's where you earn your money. It's not just in the thinking. It's not just in the talking. It's in the doing.
It's about doing.
So when you're participating with other parties, you're able to get more done. You're able to...
I had plenty of partnerships where we did more than the other. That don't work.
Right, but you're able to get more done because you better manage time if you're splitting the responsibilities, if you're splitting
you make
the
it
resources. So you got to participate if you're going to be in a successful partnership. So give them an example. Did you give them an example? You just started talking. Of a winning partnership that you've had at the Soapbox.
There are partnerships that we built in the beginning to build out on the commercial side. So we got into strategic partnerships. And one good example would be that we work with Core Services. Shout out to my man, Gordon Jackson.
Hi, Gordon. What's up, Frat?
We had a relationship previously with the laundry service. And then we were, when he was working with the supportive housing in the neighborhood. And we did that whole Thanksgiving, like we did the donation with the food. And
did
then
we say food or we just
we
took laundry
no,
project?
It was other parties involved. So they were giving them food and different items for household. And then we did like these laundry care baskets and took them like different products to clean, wash their clothes, refresh, et cetera, et cetera. So in that partnership, we met Gordon. And then over time, Gordon reached out to me and was like, listen, at Core, we provide these services for people throughout the city. And we have a location where we want to provide concierge laundry service to them. And we were like, oh, awesome. Let's meet, let's go through, look through everything and make sure we can check all the boxes you need checked. And it turned out to be a great partnership. We've been doing it for, it's been over a year that we've been doing it. I want to say, I think it's been over a year.
It has been.
I'm due for another check-in with them. It's been over a year. And it's been a great partnership. So they run the facility, they manage the hotel and provide all the services to the guests. But in their core competencies, one of the things, they don't do laundry services themselves. So in this partnership, we were able to complement the rest of their services for all of their guests. So I find it to be, a huge win when you have these partnerships. There are other
The other entities, individuals.
We have partnerships with. And then we work together to look at other markets to say, how can we service these markets together? So a good example would be like, there's some neighborhoods we don't have the capacity yet to reach fully into. So then we work with another laundry service provider and say, listen, you guys go this far. So this is how, anybody that contacts us here, we partner up and they get that business. And anyone that goes in the areas that we go into, they don't, then we get that business. And we work together to provide that service to those clients. And it works, it works really good.
I would say in observing the different partnerships, official or unofficial, that the Soapbox has had, there are 2 points that stick out to me. Number one, there is no one size fits all to a winning partnership. So in some cases, it might be people coming to us, and other cases might be us going to them.
I forgot about Cheryl. 630 sneaker cleaning.
Okay.
I would probably say that's probably one of the earlier partnerships we had.
I wouldn't say that's one of the earlier ones, but that's been one of the more long-term ones where we're seeing it
and
grow.
very successful and being successful.
Exactly. Previously we offered dry cleaning, laundry service, and a young lady in the neighborhood, she provided sneaker cleaning and was like, hey, can we work together? And that's a case where she brought the idea to us and we're like,
yeah. And it didn't even start that way.
It didn't even start that way?
No, it didn't. Like, she didn't just come to us and be like, hey, I do sneaker cleaning. Like, do you guys want to work together and do sneaker cleaning? And this was so great about it. It evolved. Cheryl used to bring her dry cleaning to the Soapbox. and we would dry clean, her items for her. And then I want to say a couple, like she hadn't been coming that long. And then a couple times in, I don't know how the conversation started, but she
started asking you about business.
She was like, yeah, I'm looking to start a business. Can I ask you some questions? And I'm like, I'm always open to like give people advice and help out. My only thing is, if you ask me something, take action on it. Like it blows my mind, and like that's probably my biggest pet peeve. People ask me stuff about business and then they don't execute on it. And I'm not saying if I give you some bad, advice. I'm talking about straightforward stuff that we both know is the right thing to do and you just don't do it.
At least try it.
Right, because of what, you got the procrastination thing on your back or whatever other things are going on. But anyway, she asked me a few things about starting a business and like incorporating and like getting her certificate of authority and, incorporating. And I was like, yeah, this is how we did it. And I'm not saying this is the only way to do it or it's the true and only right way to do it. I was like, this is how we did it. She was like, cool. And I give Cheryl a lot of props. She'll ask me stuff. Then she disappears. And I shouldn't say disappear. This is in the beginning.
She goes back into the lab.
Like she go dark on me for a minute. And then she'd text me out the blue and be like, or she'd show up at the shop and be like, I got my incorporation papers. What next? And I'd be like, cool, props. She started doing the sneakers. And somehow we had a conversation. I don't know if it was around social media or she was asking me about like marketing or exposure. And then it just clicked in my head while we were standing there one day. And I was like, you want to work together? And not even really work together. It is working together, but I don't want to paint the picture like she was doing stuff on her own. Like she had established the brand, the business, and she had clientele. She had, work coming in. But when we were talking about marketing, I was just like, I could add service to our service list and we could market it and we could reach more people. Sneakers come in and we work out some kind of agreement and you just knock them out. And then she was like, even cool. And then, it kept growing. We started getting more in. Like, I don't know, the other day we had like 2 people bring like 10 and like 8 pair each. A couple people came back and brought like 3-4 pair, and it was like, oh, I'm telling like my kids and this, that, and the third. And then next people were just coming back, and like I come in the store and see boxes of shoes, or like just people have bags of shoes, and I'm like, did somebody donate these shoes? Because we have a donation bin, so people do donate stuff. Sometimes they bring shoes, they bring clothing. So I was like, somebody donated all these sneakers. They were like, no, these are sneakers that need to be clean. Mm-hmm. And I was like, holy smokes, like it's growing. So now I get to the point where Cheryl comes to the store and actually processes the orders right on site. So everything is done, right under the roof, right on site, and it's all done, under her eye, according to, the standards that is set between the Soapbox and 630 Sneaker Cleaning. And it's turned into a great partnership. And like we've opened it up. Now people don't just drop them off at the store. We also do pickup and delivery. So there are people literally who make orders now, and we just show up to their house and they hand us a pair or 2 pair of sneakers and be like, yeah, I need these clean. And we're like, cool. So it's been very beneficial to both parties.
So just keep in mind, when we talk about partnerships, we're not necessarily talking about a business partner, which is a more formalized, someone who has an interest of stake in the business. Could be an equity stake, it could be a voting stake,
be a financial partner,
right? So a business partner, like we're business partners, right? We went to put it on paper, file our tax returns as a partnership under our legal business entity. That's a legal formal process. Having business partnerships don't have to be as formal. They can be very informal, like going to someone and saying, hey, can we work together to co-promote our products? Can we develop something together? Can we offer a service?
Right. Let's do a partnership on Instagram. And
we see that that there's some commonalities between the markets that we service, the people that we service, the geography where we're located. We have something in common, but don't do everything all the same. And then can we leverage one another's relationships, leverage one another's resources, leverage one another's experience, and leverage one another's systems and processes so that both businesses, all parties involved can be better and grow through it.
Looking at that example, and I would have to pull the data, but it's in a lot of cases, it's it's a no-brainer to do these partnership or strategic alliances or strategic partnerships, whatever the right structure or entity or term to use for it. And going back to the sneaker cleaning example, we're cleaning people's clothes. She's cleaning people's sneakers. The number of people who have brought sneakers because we were already doing, it's the same demographic, like you said, it's the same target audience. If we're cleaning people's clothes and washing them, dry cleaning, what have you, and then someone is like, hey, we clean sneakers too. They're like, you do? Because I got all these, I'm a sneakerhead. I got all these sneakers here. Like, they're filthy. Like, I kind of try and clean them myself, and like I screwed up a couple of pairs, et cetera, et cetera. Sure. The amount of business it's added.
Incremental.
Right. On this, approaching people that we're already doing laundry and dry cleaning and say, hey, we clean sneakers now? And they're like, cool. And they send it with their laundry, or they just come by and drop it off. And then the people that Cheryl was already cleaning their sneakers to say, hey, in our partnership, we also do laundry dry cleaning. So we just tapped into 2 new marketplaces, and it didn't cost either one of us anything except for us to send out an email and a couple messages to our base and update our website and say, hey, we do sneaker cleaning now. And then for her to send out to her base and put on her website, come drop your stuff off at the Soapbox at 110 Saratoga. It mutually benefited each other.
So what would you say, like, based on your experience, what are the biggest benefits you've gotten from having partnership?
One is the increased amount of exposure. So almost literally for free, we've got exposed to someone else's client base, mm-hmm. and vice versa. Mm-hmm. Very little effort and probably no dollars involved. Because they email their client base, we email ours. And it's like, well, now we do this service. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, cool. So the increased exposure is tremendous. And that's just talking about sending out an email to your client base or a text or whatever. We're not even talking about on the other side, cross-promoting on social or, sending out different promotional or advertising materials, whether it's print, it's handed out or it's mailed out, whatever it is, or doing some kind of cooperative advertisement. Mm-hmm. Now, if something cost us, like $500 before to market, and then we're marketing sneaker cleaning, dry cleaning, and laundry, well, it's a third of what it's the services are broken into thirds. Say, well, that cost us $500. If we're advertising the sneakers and we had this partnership, you want to get down with this next one we run out? Sure. So now my cost is only 2/3, where before I was paying the whole thing because we're breaking it into thirds. So now I'm saving money and making more money at the same time because I'm getting exposed to more people.
Right. And I'll add that on the security side, when we work with other suppliers, other security firms, it increases the breadth of products and services that we offer. So for example, when we work with our colleagues at MSA, Michael Stapleton and Associates, their security focus is very different. Their explosive detective canine services, bomb threat assessment, and the like. And so now we can add, from the work that we do together, we can add that to our business resume, our portfolio. So we can say, yes, we have experience providing explosive detective canine services for clients. And it's as a result of the partnership that we have. So if there's a part of the market that you're trying to capture and you don't offer those products or services independently, find a partner who does, and then market your services, co-promote, and then you now have that experience under your belt and you can grow from there.
So how do you know when it's the right time to start a partnership? Or to enter in one? And we're talking on the business side. On the business side.
I say that from my perspective, I'm always open to seeing what's possible. And by spending time with other people, being engaged with other organizations, I'm often made aware of different things that I wouldn't think of on my own. Right. So I would encourage anyone, if you're established and you have good relationships, that's a great time to start thinking about partnerships. You don't have to be a multi-million-dollar business. You don't have to have 500 employees. You can be a solopreneur and find another solopreneur that has a different spin on business. Like, for example, the Brown Wynn Agency, our friends Tina Wynn and Tony Brown. Tony was focused on the event logistics and production side. Tina was focused on the public relations side, but they both worked in the event space. And so they had separate businesses, but found that repeatedly clients were looking for a combination of the services that they offered independently. They got together and started a business, the Brown Wynn Agency. So now they do event production, which includes the logistics, which includes the public relations and the communication and script writing piece. And they've been in that entity for over 20 years now. So, you can start out very small where you are. Look at who's in your network. Look at what you offer, what you don't offer, and start from thinking about how you can leverage partnerships from there.
Right. And going back to the timing part of it, I don't think there's any definitive time. It's when the need arises or the opportunity arises and you create that partnership. And in the other piece, we didn't talk about, we kind of talked about competition, competitors earlier on. Talking about the mindset and how people view it. But here's the other thing. Partnerships could be great, especially when there's maybe a lot of competition, or you or some of your other colleagues who are in the industry might be feeling some heat from some other competitor, good or bad, who's just doing things a certain way. Maybe they have more resources than you, they have more funding, whatever. So they're able to take a different approach. Or maybe they're running their thing at a loss purposely because they want to drive a race to the bottom so they could deplete you cause you to run out of cash. Like, that is a business strategy that a lot of people don't realize. Like, they see somebody lower their price to acquire more customers, and then they're like, well, we need to lower our price so we don't lose customers. But that could be their strategy all along to get you to lower it because they understand the economics, and you're thinking you're just going to lower it because you're like, we'll get more customers, but you're losing money. And they've got a bigger war chest than you, so they can continue to burn cash longer than you. And their goal is to just wait for you to run out of cash trying to compete with them on price. But not just in that scenario, but we're talking about competition scenarios in general, you could team up with another business to have this partnership to defend off, to beat out competition. Right. You can team up to accomplish something based on the need or whatever the situation is that moment. Or maybe you just team up because you're like, I'm like Espinoza, he invites me over to dinner one day and I'm like, yo, bro, you make some mean empanadas. Like, I think we should open a food truck. Like, you make the empanadas, I'll do the marketing, like I'll drive the truck, and then we'll get somebody else to like serve it. And next thing you know, it's like we're the empanada kings because it just happened in that moment.
Right.
A lot of stuff starts like that.
We want you to win. And partnerships are just one way you can do that. So we shared a lot of information, gave you some examples, gave you some thoughts of what you can consider if you're thinking about starting a partnership. Go ahead and do it. If you need to, go back and rewatch this episode. Drop a couple of comments, hit us up in DM, let us know if this was helpful, and then let us know what kind of results you get if you do partner. We're working on a couple of proposals for some additional work with some new partners, so I hope to be able to report back to you the successes that we have, so it's not just that we just don't talk the talk, but we also execute. We're not blowing smoke.
Right.
We starting fires.
Hey, Espinoza, you know how to make empanadas?